Hello and welcome. Unity Playmaker is an add-on in Unity with which you can create video games without coding. It is for visual scripting in Unity. To download Unity Playmaker, go to the Unity Access Store. Playmaker is $65. After purchase, open it in Unity and download it into your project. From the Package Manager in Unity, download, import, and install Playmaker. After installation, you will see Playmaker on the menu bar. Let's open the Playmaker editor and dock it beside the console window. Inside the Playmaker editor is where FSMs, states, events, transitions, and variables are created and used. We will create two queues in our scene and use for our demonstration. To add an FSM to a game object, select the game object in the hierarchy window. Right-click in the Playmaker window and select Add FSM. Note that a game object can have more than one FSM. A finite state machine, or FSM, in Unity Playmaker organizes behaviors into discrete states. For every FSM, a start event and a start state are created. A start event is sent when the FSM is enabled. This then activates the first state called the start state. You can rename states, give descriptions to them, and assign them different colors. Let's create four more states: idle state, walking state, running state, and jumping state. Only one state can be active at any point in time. In play mode, the active state is highlighted green. Any state can be made a start state. For example, we can set the walking state as the start state. Actions are like commands that get executed in an active state. The list of actions in Playmaker are found in the Actions browser window. Let's set the material color of the two cubes at the start state. To add an action to a state, you select the state and double-click on the action. Cube 1 is the owner of the FSM containing the set material color action, so the game object property will remain at use owner to set its own material color. But for the second set material color action, we will specify cube 2 as the game object. Multiple actions on an active state are executed in the order in which they appear. So the color of cube 1 will be set to red first, then followed by that of cube 2 to blue. Let's enter play mode and see the result. You see that cube 2 on top is colored blue and cube 1 below is colored red. A transition is the process whereby an active state exits as active state and another state now becomes active. All transitions between states are triggered by events. Let's add a finish event to the start state. To indicate a transition, click on the finish event and drag the arrow to the idle state. A finish event is sent when all actions on an active state have finished executing. So you will see that after the cubes were set to their respective colors at the start state, a finish event caused a transition to the idle state. Now we want to use the wait action to wait for 2 seconds when the start state finishes before transitioning to the idle state. Let's create 3 custom events: walking, running, and jumping, and add these events to the idle state. We then create transitions by dragging the events and dropping the arrows on the transitioning states. Let's use the get key down action to get user input and use our custom events to trigger a transition when a key is pressed. Optionally, you can assign colors to the transition links. In play mode, when the idle state is active, you'll realize that when W, R, or space key is pressed, it transitions to the walking, running, or jumping states respectively. When an event is marked as global, it means that the event can be sent between FSMs. Checking the box beside an event will set it as global. Global transitions can be triggered at any time, regardless of the currently active state. Let's add a global transition called mouse over to transition to the working state. This means anytime the mouse hovers over the cube, it will transition into the working state immediately. The last to consider are variables. Variables are named containers for a value. Let's create a variable called wait time to hold the number of seconds the start state should wait before transitioning into the idle state. Checking the input box makes the wait time variable visible in the inspector window where you can set its value. Finally, we assign the wait time variable to the wait action in the start state. Check the debug checkbox so that the current values of variables used in action parameters will be displayed. This is where we end the tutorial about the basics in Unity Playmaker. Future videos will help us dive deeper into it. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos. Thank you.